All right, shalom, shalom. Peace and greetings to all of the so-called Negroes scattered abroad to the four corners of the earth due to the transatlantic slave trade. And as you can tell by the topic today, we're going to be getting into the Royal Negro of Spain and Portugal. All right, so throughout this video, we're going to use strictly sources to unravel the hidden history of the so-called Negro in Spain and Portugal, and just a little breakdown of who he was known as or who they were known as, and a little background info of what they went through. As we all know, all of our history has been hidden or at least submerged with lies and been whitewashed. So, of course, it's going to be up to us to do our due diligent research and find all this information and, just put a puzzle piece together for our history to learn it better. So, like I said, we're going to be using sources. Today, I'm going to give you all the titles of the book names and the pages and everything so you can do the research on your own later. But like I say, with every source, we just gonna be building a piece of the history. Just what I'm saying, putting the puzzle together to understand this history. So let's go ahead and begin. And we're gonna start with a new voyage to Italy. I'm gonna begin on page 139. All right, and we're gonna start right down here. And it reads, "'Tis also a vulgar error that the Jews are all black, for this is only true of the Portuguese Jews, who marrying always amongst one another, beget children like themselves, and consequently the swarthiness of their complexion is entailed upon the whole race, even in the northern regions." So, according to this source, it is just verifying the fact that the Portuguese Jews are black or are black. Also, they marry amongst one another, therefore their children are swarthy. If you didn't know, swarthy is just a complexion of dark, so they would get dark children like themselves. So let's continue to build on with the next source, and it's from the History of the Jews by Hannah Adams. And we're going to start on page 180. We're going to start right here where it says the Spanish and Portuguese Jews claim their descent from the tribe of Judah. In consequence of this supposed superiority, they have not till lately married or in any way incorporated with their brethren of other nations. They had separate synagogues, and if a Portuguese Jew, even in England or Holland, married a German Jew, she was immediately expelled from the synagogue. So, this source right here is just highlighting the fact that the Spanish and Portuguese Jews claim their descent from the tribe of Judah. And also, it was just piggybacking off the last source or confirming that they only marry amongst one another by saying that they wouldn't even incorporate themselves with their other brethren or other nations or the other tribes. So they live separately. They would only marry with one another. But let's continue to build. With this next source I got, we're going to bring out another witness, and it's from Legitimist Magazine and History Chronicle. We're going to start on page 12. I'm going to read right here. And it says the Spanish Jews are the true descendants from the tribe of Judah and the royal house of David, and were settled in Spain from the time of the captivity of the first temple by Nebuchadnezzar. So here we go with our second source letting us know that the Spanish and Portuguese Jews are the true descendants of the tribe of Judah. But another key thing to take away from this source is that it let us know that they were settled in Spain from the time of the captivity of the first temple by Nebuchadnezzar. Now, if you know, that's biblical. So they've been settled in Spain, or at least some of the tribe of Judah has been settled in Spain for a pretty long time. But like I said, we building the puzzle pieces. We putting the pieces together. So far, we got that they were black and that they were from the tribe of Judah. So let's continue to build with the next source. And we're just going to be focusing on a man named Yahya bin Rabbi. All you can do, you can do a simple Wikipedia search or Google search, and you'll find out this information. So, Yahya bin Rabbi, also known as Yahya the Negro, was a Portuguese nobleman. He was reputed to be a direct descendant from the Hebrew exilarchs of ancient Babylon that claimed direct descent from the biblical King David. He was the progenitor of the Ibn Yahya family. So we have a Portuguese nobleman by the name of Yahya the Negro, who claimed to be direct descent from the Hebrews that claimed direct descent from King David. So my question to you all is, why would a Jew have the last name Negro or be called or referred to as a Negro unless he was black or unless he is a Negro? You see what I'm saying? So why would a so-called Jew have the surname or last name or be called the Negro? It's just a question to put on top of your head. That's another piece to the puzzle. Let's go ahead and put it together. History of the Jews by Heinrich G. We're going to begin in the middle passage on page 339. And it reads, Abravanel was not the only Jewish favorite at Alfonso's court. Two brothers, Ibn Yachia Negro, also frequented the court of Lisbon. They were sons of a certain Don David, who had recommended them not to invest their rich inheritance into real estate, for he saw that banishment was in store for the Portuguese Jews. So here we have another source giving us examples of Jews with the last name Negro. So again, I asked, why would Jews have the last name Negro? It says here we have two Portuguese brothers, Ibn Yachia Negro, who also frequented visit the court of Lisbon. So are we known as Negroes today? Exactly. With this being said, they carried the surname Negro or last name Negro because they were Negroes or because they were black. But let's continue on. Another interesting thing to take away from this source is that it lets us know later on that he saw that banishment was in store for the Portuguese Jews. So what he told them is to not invest their rich inheritance in real estate. So far, we have the Jews was black. We have they came from the tribe of Judah, and we have examples of them having the last name or surname Negro. So let's continue to build with this next source. So 100 Amazing Facts About the Negro with Complete Proof by J.A. Rogers. And we're going to start right here where you see the Negro Jews of West Africa. So the Negro Jews of West Africa have so-called Semitic profiles. So let me stop right there. I know y'all been seeing all the stuff that's going around in the media, or Nick Cannon, Deshaun Jackson, all these people being labeled anti-Semitic for saying that we are the Semitic peoples. If you do your research, you'll find out that we are, and that we really are the true Jews, as I'm trying to point out here. So next time you hear somebody say, oh, a black person is being anti-Semitic, just remember that they can't, because more than likely, they are the true Semitic people, or they come from a Semitic person. So let's read again. Let's start over from the beginning. It reads, the Negro Jews of West Africa have so-called Semitic profiles. In France, Spain, and Portugal, there are Negroid Jews with woolly hair. Feel your hair. What kind of hair you got? Let's continue. The Portuguese Jews are the aristocrats of Jewry and show considerable Negroid strains. Let me start over and read this again. In France, Spain, and Portugal, there are Negroid Jews with woolly hair. The Portuguese Jews are the aristocrats of Jewry and show considerable Negro strain. So, according to the 100 Amazing Facts About the Negro is a Jew. The Jews are Negroid people. Makes sense to why the Portuguese Jews will have a surname Negro or be called the Negro, which is a Spanish word for black. So once again, this source is just confirming that the Jews are Negroid people, that the Jews are Negroes. So let's continue to build. And now we're going to start to get into a little bit of the history of our people and what they went through. And we're going to bring that out from the Jews and the Moors in Spain on page 129. And we're going to just start at the top section. Read down, and it says the Jews and Moors in Portugal who were not profess, the Jews and Moors in Portugal who would not profess the Christian religion to depart the kingdom. And he set a day after which, if any of them were found there, they should forfeit their liberty. The Moors immediately passed over into Africa, and as the Jews were preparing to depart, the king commanded that all their children who were not above 14 years old should be taken from their parents and educated in the Christian religion. It was the most affecting thing to see children snatched from the embraces of their mothers and fathers, embracing their children, violently torn from them, and even beat with clubs. To hear the dreadful cries they made, and every place filled with the lamentations and the yells of women. Many through indignation threw their sons into pits, and others killed them with their own hands. What added to the misery was that those who would have gone over to Africa to avoid this evil were not um, suffered, for the king deferred giving them liberty of failing day after day. So, as you just read, our people went through violent acts. Our children were snatched from us, beat with clubs, threw into pits, and this and that, as we just read. All for what? Because we didn't want to convert to the Christian religion. This was what was going on right here is forced conversion. Us being forced into a religion that we never even practiced. A religion that we never even practiced. And you see why it's so easy for our people to cling on to Christianity. Because they've been doing this stuff in history. Let's continue on to learn more about this. The book is from Babylon. This next source is from Babylon and Timbuktu. And we're going to start up here. Top paragraph, second sentence, and it reads, in many cases, parents smothered their offspring in a farewell of their embrace. Could you imagine that? In others, they threw them into wells in order to save them from the disgrace and apostasy, and then killed themselves. Sometimes even old men were dragged to the church and forcibly baptized over overzealous fanatics. So our people would kill their children and themselves just so they would not convert over to this Roman Christian religion. Why would our people do that? Because these Christians were evil. It tells you right here that they were forcibly baptized over zealous fanatics. But these are Christians. These are supposed to be a Christ-like people. Yet they doing this to our people. Let's continue. Horrendous conditions like this, and even much worse, compelled many Jews to escape secretly out of the country. These black Jews went to Portuguese colonial possessions in Western Africa. Remember that the Portuguese colonies in Western Africa were Guinea, South Tome Island, Senegal, Angola, and a few islands near the African coast. Let's put this in perspective. Here's Senegal, here's Guinea, here's the South Tome Islands right here off the coast, and here's Angola. Just to put that to a little perspective, all along the West Coast. But let's continue with the reading. And it says, during the persecutions in Portugal, thousands of Jews left the country. The Jews were leaving the country in such a large number that in 1499 and 1531, the king published a decree forbidding the new Christians, known as black Jews, from leaving Portugal without special permit. So we was trying to get out of that place so bad that we couldn't leave without a special permit. And they was known as new Christians because they was forcibly converted. New Christians, also known as black Jews. Let's continue to build. At this time, the Jews became Christians out of fear. At this time, many Jews became Christians out of fear. Many of them were known as secret Jews, practicing Judaism in secret under the guise of Christianity. Some writers call these Jews nominal Christians, Jews who are Christians in the name only but practice Judaism in secret. So this is the type of things that people used to have to go through. We used to have to practice our true God in secret, at home, in a closet, in the dark. but embrace the wrong religion while we out in sight around everybody, so we wouldn't be persecuted. What does this let us know? Jews became Christians out of fear. We become Christians nowadays out of straight brainwash and not knowing our history or not knowing the history of these so-called Christians. Because if you knew the history of a Christian, you sure wouldn't want to be no Christian. These Christians are savages. They kill us. And they've been persecuting us. It ain't just started now. But let's continue. In spite of all the prejudices against the black Jews of Portugal, they excelled in the trades they excelled in all the trade skills, professions, and businesses. The wealth of the Jews was tremendous. Portugal is a small country about the size of a state of Florida. Nevertheless, in the year 1610, the Jews alone were worth 80 million ducats. The Jews dominated commerce and in the export trade, so naturally the black Jews would engage in commerce and trade in many parts of Africa after they fled from Portugal. So where our money at? Somebody got some money for us. The wealth of the Jews was tremendous. They excelled in trade, skills, professions, and businesses. The same thing we do today. So let's continue to build. The next source I have is from America, being an accurate description of the New World. We're going to start up here where it says the Portuguese. The Portuguese that dwelt on the island informed the Netherlanders that few lived about 50 years there. Yet, with no, excuse me, yet notwithstanding the great gang tempt them to tarry, several of them having 200 or 300 Negroes that worked in the sugar mills, that John the Third, King of Portugal, sent a colony there above 200 years before, whom though the unwholesome air destroyed, yet the place was left desolate, for he sent new inhabitants, who first settled Guinea, next in Angola, and lastly on St. Thomas, that so they might be better used to the air, that the king sold all those Jews for slaves that refused to embrace the Roman religion, and caused their children to be baptized, from whom most of the present inhabitants were descendants. So this source is letting us know that the king sold all the Jews for slaves that refused to embrace the Christian Roman religion, and caused them to be baptized. So it's just showing you the wickedness of these people. We wouldn't convert to their religion, so guess what they did? They sold us, or forcibly baptized us, or sent us off to different colonies, or forced us to move. So it's just constant persecution during this time. During this time leading up to the slave trade. During this time leading up to the slave trade, we was forced to migrate to the west coast of Africa. We was either already there or we was sent to the west coast of Africa. Those three. But let's continue. These sources are telling us that they were sent to the west coast of Africa from Spain, kicking off during the time right before the transatlantic slave trade kicked off. But let's continue. Portuguese exploration to the west and the formation of Brazil. We're going to start on page 17. By the year 1470, the Portuguese had found the equatorial island of Sao Tome in the Guinea Gulf off the African coast. The climate proved to be extremely unwholesome for Europeans and settlement was slow. The official chronicle of King John II reports on one of the methods to populate the island is that also throw some of the light of the tragic form of Jewish participation in the Portuguese Atlantic Empire. The king had allowed Jewish refugees from Spain from where they had been expelled in 1492. So the Jews had been expelled from Spain in 1492 to remain in Portugal only in return for payment of enormous ransom in 1493. Those who could not those who could not pay had their children taken away from them, baptized by force, and deported to Sao Tome, which is on the west coast of Africa, in order to be raised as Christians and to help populate the island that the king just leased. So this source is just letting us know once again that Jews have been sent off to the island of Sao Tome, sent to a colony of the Portuguese in West Africa, and also that the children were taken away and forcibly baptized. So when you in truth, these sources start to overlap each other with a little more information. You feel me? So like I said, we've been building. We got the Jews who are black. They come from the tribe of Judah. We got that they have surname and last name is Negro. We got that they are in fact Negroid people. And now we're bringing out some of the history or where they were sent to. Once so far, we got they were sent to the islands off the coast of Africa. We got they were sent to Senegal, Angola, and Guinea. And it's even more, but we bringing out this for now. But let's continue to move on and build. And we're going to start right here. And it says King John II in 1492 expelled all the Jews to the island of St. Thomas, which had been discovered in 1471 in another Portuguese settlement on the continent of Africa. And from there, banished Jews, the black Portuguese, also, as they were called, and the Jews of Loango were despised, even by the very Negroes are descended. So, once again, we have another source letting us know that in 1492, the Jews were expelled and sent to the islands of St. Thomas or other islands on the west coast of Africa. Well, it says, and other Portuguese settlements on the continent of Africa. We already brought out their settlements or their colonies on the west coast of Africa. But another thing this is letting us know in this source that there are Jews in Luango. So we're going to keep bringing out the truth. We're going to keep bringing out the truth with these sources. Keep building this puzzle. 1492, the Jews were expelled from Spain and Portugal and sent down to the west coast of Africa, to these Portuguese settlements on the west coast of Africa. So let's bring out a witness for this. Africa being an accurate description of the regions in Egypt, Libya, the accurate regions of Egypt, Barbary, and Libya by John Ogilvy. And we just gonna start right here. We just trying to bring out something real quick. We're just trying to bring out something real quick. We're going to start right here with the idolaters are numerous in Negro land, upper and lower Ethiopia, and towards the great ocean, except, as we hinted before, some few who by the industry of the Portuguese and Spaniards have been converted and baptized in several places. So this letting us know that the Spanish and Portuguese have been baptized in several places and that they are in Negro land. So if you didn't know, Negro land is right here in Africa, Western Africa. Here's Upper Guinea. What do you see right here in Negro land? The kingdom of Judah, who claimed to be, what did the Spanish and Portuguese claim to be? From the tribe of Judah. And here you have later on the west coast of Africa, the kingdom of Judah. Could this have been established by Spanish and Portuguese outcasts from the Inquisition? Could be. But you can't deny the fact that the kingdom of Judah is right here on the west coast of Africa, and the inhabitants are said to be Jews. Building. So we have the Spanish and Portuguese Jews later being seen in the west coast of Africa. So let's bring out some more witnesses to that. And we're going to use Babylon to Timbuktu. And we're going to bring out the first source, and it lets us know right here on page 128. And we're going to start right here where it says, also many of these black Jews of the land of Angola, it is said, came from San Timon Island. All available evidence indicates that the Jews of Angola are excuse me. Let's just start over and read this over because I was messing all the way up. Okay, also many of these black Jews of the land of Angola, it is said, came from South Timor Islands. All available evidence indicates that the Jews of Angola coast were Portuguese Jews, outcasts. So here we go, letting us know that the Jews in Angola are Portuguese outcasts. You know what I'm saying? So eventually the Jews from South Timor migrated over to Angola coast or over to the state of Angola, the country of Angola. But let's continue to build. Next source, letting us know it is certain that many black Jews of Portugal and South Timor and Angola who became victims of the Inquisition and persecution. The Inquisition and the persecution, y'all, was just what we was reading about. What led up to them being expelled or kicked out of Spain and Portugal and sent to West Africa. So it is certain that many Jews of Portugal, Sao Tome, and Angola who became victims of the Inquisition and Portuguese persecution were sold in the slave trade. This Atlantic slave trade lasted more than 400 years, from about 1444 to about 1880 in some parts of South America. So here we go. Here we go. Let's continue to read. Some scholars have located black Jews within the entire Niger River Bend. The countries in this territory that have contained black African Jews include the following: Upper Volta, Ivory Coast, Ghana, Togo, and Dahomey and Nigeria. Now do your research. All of these, all of these places slaves were taken from. All of these places slaves were taken from. It's showing you more and more. The west coast of Africa was filled with Jews. Was filled with Jews. The places that they took us from was filled with Jews. So, like I say, this video was just to bring, light, bring light and shine light on the hidden history of the so-called Negro Jews of Spain and Portugal and how they was kicked out and sent to the west coast of Africa and later sold as slaves. That was all we were doing, building a puzzle piece. I hope you all got the puzzle piece and saw it as we was building. Like I say, I gave you all the book titles and the pages number so you all can go back and do your research on your own. Like I say, if you need to hit me up, you can hit me up on Instagram, Sonny Ya one, or you can hit me up in the email at ballw333. I hope you all enjoyed the video and that it was edifying. And Tawada, peace and blessings to all. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. And have a great day. Tawada.